where there was chaos in the Rajya Sabha as opposition MPs protested against the tabling of the CEC bill. Now, this bill seeks to regulate the appointment of the Chief Election Commissioner and two other election commissioners who, of course, play the role of his generals ahead of the critical 2024 Lok Sabha elections next year. Today, as the Law Minister, Mr. Arjun Ram Meghwal, introduced the bill in the Rajya Sabha, the opposition stood up in protest and forced the House to be adjourned. But first, let's contextualize what this bill is actually all about. In March this year, the Apex Court set up a selection panel to advise the President. Earlier, the CEC and the ECs were appointed by the President on the aid and advice of the Council of Ministers, which is the government. The Supreme Court, in its order in the month of March, stated that a panel should consist of the Prime Minister, the Leader of the Opposition, and also the Chief Justice of India to appoint the Chief Election Commissioner and the Election Commissioners. Now, however, the bill that's been moved by the government in the Rajya Sabha proposes that the panel should comprise of the Prime Minister, the Leader of the Opposition, and a cabinet and another Union Cabinet Minister appointed by the Prime Minister, basically meaning that the Chief Justice has now been excluded from the panel. Now, watch what happened when the Law Minister tabled this bill in the upper house.
With your permission, I move for leave to introduce a bill to regulate the appointments, conditions of service and term of office of the Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners, the procedure for transaction of business by the Election Commission and for matters connected herewith or incidental thereto. Thank you.
One notice given by Dr. John Bittas opposing the introduction of Chief Election Commissioner and other election commissioners appointment of conditional service of term of office bill 2023. Moving? Yes. Not moving? Yes. The question is that leave be granted to introduce the bill. Those in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. The ayes have it. Arjun Ram Meghwal to introduce the bill.
Sir, with your permission, I introduce the bill. Thank you.
Now, the opposition has raised a red flag over this bill, saying that it's dangerous that the Prime Minister does not believe in the Supreme Court and that this bill will affect the fairness of elections and will serve the purpose of weakening democracy.
It is very unfortunate and see these kind of things because when Parliament is in session without taking anybody into conference and even the opposition parties into conference, the centre has moved to dilute another constitutional bench judgment of Supreme Court. Bill on the appointment of CEC and EC state.
I haven't had a chance to look at the bill, but certainly it does seem to be rather unusual. We will have to see in what form we take it up and whether we object, because the fact is that the Chief Justice, his participation in the exercise was part of what guaranteed the independence of the selection process.
The public opinion is in favor of having independent election commissioner. Nation wants it, that there should be independent election commissioner. Otherwise there will be manipulations in elections. So elections should be free and fair. Keeping that in mind, Supreme Court had also settled it. Now they are bringing a bill to negate that Supreme Court decision. Against the wishes of the people, that bill is being forced, that too in din. When there's lots of hangama in Parliament, then also they are bringing this bill. They introduced it. It means that lots of pandemonium, which is wrong, completely wrong, against the democratic values in parliamentary practices.